It's June 23rd, 1940 in Paris, and Hitler has just conquered France. The city looks empty. Hitler, along with his entourage, visited key sites such as Napoleon Bonaparte's tomb at the Hôtel des Invalides. Fast forward to December 14th, 1940. A German car discreetly enters the Hôtel des Invalides. Soldiers sneak a mysterious box into a secret compartment near Napoleon's tomb. Inside the box are ashes brought from Vienna. They belong to Franz, also known as Napoleon II, the Eaglet, who was once King of Rome and briefly Emperor of the French. In Hitler's mind, this was a gesture of respect towards France. But why? And who was Napoleon II? We have to go back to March 1811. Paris erupted with 100 cannon shots celebrating the birth of Napoleon II. He was the son of Napoleon and Marie-Louise of Austria, his second wife, who hated him, referring to him as the ogre. Napoleon married Marie-Louise of Austria because his first wife, Josephine, was unable to bear children. In Rome, the Quirinal Palace was emptied to make room for some very special guests. Napoleon Bonaparte and his son, dubbed the King of Rome, Napoleon François. Napoleon François was beautiful. He had blonde hair and robust health. Napoleon had grand plans for his son, envisioning the magnificent palace of the King of Rome in today's Eiffel Tower location, aiming to create an architectural masterpiece. However, the war started again, and Napoleon suffered a big loss in Russia. He had a portrait of his son called the most beautiful child in France. However, it apparently got destroyed during the war. With enemy forces invading Paris and Austria seeking vengeance, Napoleon is forced to say farewell to his son, Napoleon II, before being exiled to Elba. This will be the last time they will ever meet. Napoleon escaped from Elba but failed to regain power, so it was permanently brought to St. Helena. Napoleon II became the new emperor, but he was immediately forced to abdicate, and the monarchy of King Louis XVIII was restored. He was forced to live in Vienna, while his mother Marie-Louise became the Duchess of Parma. Napoleon François is now called Franz, and he is the Duke of Reichstadt. He is raised in Vienna under his grandfather, the Emperor of Austria. Surrounded by Austrian tutors, Franz wishes to be a great military leader, despite his youthful innocence. On May 5th, 1821, Napoleon died in St. Helena. This fact will shock Franz, even if Napoleon's letters from exile never reached him because they were intercepted before they could depart the island. The only thing he got was the Sword of Napoleon, which was secretly given to him by his mother Marie-Louise. Growing up, Franz lives a restricted life, pretty much isolated from the world. His grandfather and the Austrian Prime Minister Metternich fear he might disrupt their political plans. Franz had a passion for horses and the military. He became captain, but never led troops. He is confined to a palace near Vienna, and he's aware of his heritage and aspires to achieve greatness. In 1830, there was a call for the Bonapartes' return to Paris. Franz sees a potential role for himself. French loyalists urge him to act, some even attempting to reach him in Vienna, but they got stopped by the guards. In Parma, his mother Marie-Louise is facing a rebellion. Franz imagines himself a savior, but Austrian officials, including his grandfather, block his departure. Franz grows into an attractive, proud figure. Rumors said he had a relationship with his aunt by marriage, Sophia of Bavaria, mother of the future emperor Franz Joseph. Speculation swirls that Sophia's second son, the future emperor of Mexico Maximilian I, might be Franz's, weaving another layer into the Bonaparte saga. At the age of 19, Franz started having health issues, including breathing difficulties. He asked permission to stay in Italy because of its milder climate, but the request was denied. The famous doctor Giovanni Malfatti, the same one who treated Beethoven, is called to help Franz. He prescribed warm baths, dairy, and sparkling water. Rumors says that Franz might get poisoned by Prime Minister Metternich. Ultimately, he was diagnosed with tuberculosis. He tried to lead a military drill in 1831, but he couldn't. He had to return to Vienna, and now he can only barely walk. His mother visited in June, and she was shocked looking at his aged appearance and poor health. Franz died on July 22, 1832. His grandfather, Emperor Francis I of Austria, will write, "The death of my grandson was a blessing for himself and perhaps also for my children and the world in general, but it is a huge loss for me." Franz's funeral was lavish. He was buried among Vienna's royal elite. In his coffin there was written, "Franz, Duke of Reichstadt." Over time, Napoleon II, or Franz, faded from memory. He was occasionally remembered in literature as a tragic figure, the promising son of Napoleon who never fulfilled his destiny. 108 years later, Hitler discreetly relocated his remains to Paris. His tombstone in Paris bears a simple inscription beneath his father's grand monument, Napoleon François Joseph Charles Bonaparte, King of Rome, Duke of Reichstadt, 1811 to 1832,